Yes, I'm Dennis. I'm approaching 74, retired, although still very active with an honorary role for a research group, 10U3A, member of a couple of clubs, married with grandchildren, children and grandchildren in Melbourne, which is probably worth mentioning that we've only been in Melbourne, Joy and I, for 5 years. So we're fairly new to the area and fairly new to a situation of exercise group. There has never been a time when I've retired, so everything's been continual and has been active. But I've always had the view that the only way to survive and enjoy the future is to be fit enough and be healthy enough to really complete what you want to do, and to see the most of your family as long as you can. The only time I've been in a structured exercise program was probably just before and just after I had major surgery, which was a prostate cancer. And that exercise in an exercise group certainly helped recovery and certainly helped with the mental state that can come from the downside after a major surgery, especially something as radical as that. That exercise group is different to what I've experienced here in Melbourne, in that it was fairly well unstructured and it was just a warm-up and then do your own thing. The exercise program that we're talking about has been structured in the sense that it aims to give balance, certainly aims for everybody to enjoy it through fun and involvement, and it seems to work just about everything that hurts. So to that extent, whilst I've been exercising in earlier years, nowhere near to the extent of today's activity, and I think it's reaped benefits. After surgery, I mentioned that it could have had a mental effect. I think by the very fact that you were with a group of people and it was mixed at that stage as an exercise group, helped you just fit back in, whether it was a reaction to medication or psychological aspect of losing something you weren't going to get back again. And it was an opportunity to talk about things which men don't normally do. And that again is something that in this day of exercise class, that's an extremely valuable feature, and it's noticeable with those that have just lost a partner in the group that I work at exercise with now, that the amount of support they've had has obviously helped that person, as well as exercise, getting their mind and body fit again to deal with such things. In terms of how I feel about age and my perspective on what the future is, as a person that is by definition aged, and is viewed upon by perhaps younger generation as being not something to look forward to, I'd say that my attitude towards getting older has always been that as long as you keep active and positive, don't become sedentary, keep away from boredom, and therefore keep away from depression, because your life is not as full as it was when you were working 100% of the time. So in that respect, the perspective on the future is that it can maintain a level, and I need to be fit and active to be out in the field with a research group, to be with grandchildren, and to exercise and fish with my wife, and that range of activity, which is probably not structured, but it's a lifestyle. Because of now 5 years in this group exercise class, I certainly have been surprised that I could develop strength, in fact strength that I didn't know that I had, and that I think has certainly helped the muscle around two knees that have been shattered by jogging for 15 years. Very pleasurable at the time, but caused deterioration. The benefits of exercise for me have probably been twofold. One, that it's introduced me to a group that I would not, being as a new member and new to Victoria, I wouldn't have had the chance. In terms of physically, it has certainly strengthened and put an edge to a fitness that I couldn't have done it myself in a gym, and I couldn't have done it at home just by walking. I've been able to keep doing things that I'm fairly sure even over 5 years, I wouldn't have been able to. I think on the other side of it is that there is and I suppose it can be called emotional, in that you've found a very pleasant way of mixing with people, enjoying a fun occupation, and really getting through, pushing yourself through your own comfort zone and making others do the same, where they would probably just float along, because without effort nothing improves. Emotionally probably can be summed up as being accepted by Victorians when you came from South Australia. What more can I say?